Place is the command that tells your dog to go onto their place bed. When you're practicing this, you should use a raised bed like this. The reason we use this type of bed is because it gives our dog really clearly defined boundaries. We want our dog to know when they're completely on the bed, and we want them to know when they're not completely on the bed. Beds like this do not give our dog clearly defined boundaries, and it's also easier for them to cheat and have part of their body on it and part of their body off it and still be comfortable. However, raised beds like this, it's basically impossible to do that, so it really helps you reinforce clear rules and boundaries. The bed should be slightly bigger than your dog so that it's comfortable for them to completely sprawl out. It should also be raised off the ground several inches like this. To tell your dog to go onto their bed, say their name, then place, and point with your arm towards it like this. Bailey, place! The reason we use a hand signal is so that our dog knows where they're supposed to go. Because if we just say place but we don't point, our dog might not know where the bed is. Okay, so what should your dog do? What are the rules for the place bed? Once you say place, your dog should go directly to the bed. They should get all 4 paws on it, and then they should stay there until you release them. Okay, free. Your dog does not have to sit, lie down, or stay perfectly still. It's okay if they're standing. It's okay if they get up and move around, as long as they don't actually step off of it. We do want our dog to stay reasonably calm on the place bed. So through training, we condition our dog to do this, and we'll go over how to do that. No, no. Good, good girl. We'll go over how to teach your dog to be calm on the place bed in our training video on place, and also we'll go over this in the lessons. Okay, let's talk about how to release your dog off the bed. Remember, your dog is not allowed to just get off the bed whenever they want. They have to be released by you, and to do that, you're gonna say, okay, free, and tap them at the same time. Okay, free. The reason we include the physical tap with the release is so that our dog knows exactly when they're allowed to get off. Because sometimes we might say words that sound like okay or free, and we don't want our dog thinking it's okay for them to get off the bed when they hear that. So for example, if you're talking to your friend and you say free, we don't want our dog getting off the bed at that point. So we include the physical tap as kind of like no, place, kind of like dual confirmation. Remember, the place bed is a training tool, so your dog shouldn't just get on and off it throughout the day as they please. So here's another important rule your dog has to follow. If your dog puts themselves on the bed, they still have to stay on it until you release them. In other words, if your dog decides to just get on the bed to relax a bit, they still have to then stay there until you come up and release them. The reason we do this is because dogs live in the moment. So once your dog gets on the bed, however they got on, after they've been there for several seconds, they're no longer gonna remember whether you told them to go there or whether they put themselves there. So again, just remember, if your dog's on the bed, they have to wait for you to release them. To avoid this from happening, to avoid your dog from putting themselves on the bed and then being stuck there, you can just put the bed away. So you can just prop it up against the wall or put it in another room so that doesn't happen. It's okay to also have one of these soft beds as well. So it's fine for you to have one of these beds laying around the house that your dog can get on and off whenever they want. But we don't recommend using it as your dog's place bed in the very beginning, because remember, it does not give your dog clearly defined boundaries and it's easy for them to cheat. So for the first few weeks or so, use the raised cot for place, and then eventually it might be okay to use the soft bed for place.